Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come in, come in, come in. This is Tamika's Den. I am Tamika. Get on in here, y'all. Get on in here, all right? Come on inside the den. Kick off your shoes and relax your feet. Now, honey, we are talking about the Shah. The name of this episode is Angels. This is season 5, episode 7. Every character in this show gave me a headache tonight, y'all. At one point or another, they gave me a headache. They got on my damn nerves, okay? I wanted to jump through the screen and shake them and be like, what the hell are you doing? All right? That is what they was giving me. So let's go ahead and get into this. So we start out the episode with Keisha and Emmett. He's coming down talking about good morning to you. Okay, she up in here with her little t-shirt on. So they start kissing. I'm thinking, well, actually, no, she had on a long sleeve shirt, but she just had on her shirt. I said, okay, we doing a little kissy or whatever, right? Emmett and Keisha kissing in the kitchen. Well, honey, it started turning into something else. He pop her up on that table. He getting it in. So he looking around to see if the kids is going to be, you know what I'm saying, waking up and coming down, making sure they not there. And baby, that's not where you needed to be looking because Miss Tiff opened up the damn door and they both like, oh God, jumping up. And she's like, I know you freaking lying. I know you are freaking kidding me right now. Are you serious? So I said, well, first of all, Emmett, you need to get your keys back from Tiff, okay? Tiff should not have the keys anymore. If she do have them, then it should be in case of emergency. She should be calling you to tell you she's on her way, she's outside, whatever have you, and she should knock at the door, even whether it's Keisha there or not, okay? That's first and foremost. So, of course, this really ticks her the heck off, okay? And they scrambling to get themselves together. He's like, listen, you know what I'm saying? You don't need to just be busting in the damn door. She talking about, well, I still got the key. And like I said, she shouldn't have it. You know, Keisha going to hurry up and run her behind up the stairs. And so she was like, well, I told you I was coming this morning. And apparently he forgot all about it, you know. And she's like, of course you did. And then, you know, he also forgets that he's supposed to be going to, you know, meet with EJ's teacher later that day too. So she's saying how he keep forgetting things. And so she tells him to go ahead and get EJ ready. And he's like, okay, I am. Hold on. You know, she's like, oh, go get him now. So of course, she is definitely in her feelings, right? That is saying it kindly. You know, you got Trig sitting in the room on the bed, and you got Jake coming into him and saying, you know, she's going for good, right? She's not coming back, okay? Obviously talking about their mother. And Trig says, no, she's not coming back, you know, but that doesn't mean, you know, she has a sickness or whatever, right? It doesn't have anything to do with you or me. And it doesn't mean that she doesn't love us, right? She just can't be here with us for right now. Okay, so, you know, Jake goes, well, you know, I really needed her here, especially with the baby coming. Okay, so Trigger's like, what did you say? You know, finally the cat is out the bag with that. And he's basically like, Gemma is pregnant. And so Trigger's like, you know, what the heck you mean she's pregnant? You know, how long have you known this? What are you talking about or whatever the case may be? And so Jake says he's known for a few weeks now, which that caught me off guard because I was under the impression that we maybe went by a couple of days, maybe a week. No, he said weeks with an S, all right? And so basically Trig then gets mad and was like, you know, are you crazy? He was like, I asked you. You know, I asked you straight up or whatever the case may be, and you looked me right in my face and you lied to me. And he does have a point there. He did ask him, and Jake did lie. And I didn't understand the point of Jake lying after you already brung it up. But Trig, I gotta call you out too because you did not press it. You just left and was so much in a, you know, rush, having a one-track mind and only seeing what you had to go do as far as this councilman thing and the benefit that they was having. And obviously, if Jake is going to come out of nowhere and be like, oh, you know, did you ever get a girl pregnant before and be asking these questions, then you should already know he not asking that for nothing. So you dropped the ball there too. And you dropped the ball when y'all was at the benefit and he tried to come and talk to you. So some of that blame comes on you too. And you know, he basically, you know, Jake asked him what is he supposed to do or whatever the case may be, right? And he was saying, like, Trig was saying to him, how am I supposed to be a pillar in this community, and then you over here having a teen pregnancy? So when Jake asked him, like, what should I do, Trig is basically saying to him, stand up, take care of your responsibilities. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna be no slouch, and you ain't gonna have a child out here and not take care of it, especially after everything that they basically have had to go through, right? And that's the right thing to say to him. But at this point, he's ticked off and he walks out, right? So now we kind of get the correlation of Gemma's father having a similar conversation with her, where he's like, have you ever thought about, open adoptions? And she was like, yeah, I know about it, but that's not something that I'm trying to do. You know what I'm saying? That's not where I'm going with this, or whatever the case may be, right? And she was like, I already made up my mind. I made the decision. And he basically was saying that, has she prayed about it? And then when she says to him, like, well, aren't you proud to have me, or whatever the case may be? And he's like, yes, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't trade you for the world. You are my biggest prize and possession. And of course, I'm proud of you. She essentially was like, okay, then that's, how I'm going to feel about my baby. And so he holds, he gives her a hug and he tells her that he has her back, and she says that Jake is gonna have her back too. And he was like, he better. Okay, at this point, he don't got no goddamn choice. And so then we see, like, at this point, Keisha comes down, she's dressed, she's trying to get up out of there as well. Well, while they're trying to, prepare for Tip to go ahead and get EJ to school. And this is when she's reminded him about the appointment that he have to be to later, which he apparently forgot that as well. And we see Keisha pick up, like, I think it was one of EJ toys and pass it to her, and we see her just kind of snatch it out of Keisha's hand, and then Keisha saying that she have to go to the dorm. And so when she walks out the door, Emmett is basically saying to Miss Tiff, like, take your anger out on me or whatever. Don't take it out on Keisha. And she talking about something, don't tell me, what to do. I said, whatever, girl. Okay. So then we see Maisha now. She here, listening to her song. She feeling it. She liking the vibe. She writing down some new stuff. And we seeing this red envelope on the table that's basically looking like an acceptance letter. Like they inviting her to the college where it's saying you're in. She's looking at that for a minute, and then she puts it back down, and she just kind of continues writing her music or whatever. And I'm like, Maisha, I hope you're not doing what I think you're doing, okay? I hope you're not now thinking that you're not going to go to school or whatever just to start, rapping. Is that what we trying to do, Maisha? As hard as you was going all this time, that's not really making sense to me that she would just turn around all of a sudden now and have that attitude. But okay, we going to see where that's going. So we see Kevin and Lene playing the game, and he's finally spending time with her. He's talking to her about the gaming thing and how it works. She's like, well, what's the big deal? What's so special about it? He like, shoot, I could stand to make $25,000. Okay, the game tonight is worth $25,000. She like, damn, that's a lot. So he's like, yeah, he was telling her she should come too or whatever, and she never knows, she might want to play, like she could get some money out of it too and be able to have fun. So she was like, okay, and he gives her a warning that Simone is going to be there too, and she's kind of like, oh boy. And he's like, nah, for real. He was like, I know sometimes she could be a little extra or whatever. She a bit much, but he was like, she's cool or whatever. Give her a chance, and, telling her that she's nice. So she says, okay. So, we get Rashad and his babe, right? And I don't know, but this started making me kind of second guess her, y'all. She over here giving Rashad a test. She want him to learn what her daddy like, what her stepmother like, what her sister like, what this one and that one like, who went to college in the family, where they worked, what they liked, and all this stuff, And he like, I never studied so daggone hard for a test in my life. Like, she want him to be able to break down all the family dynamics before he meet them. But he's doing good. He's actually obviously been paying attention, and he's naming everything right. And so then she asked him, if he have a suit. And he was like, no, but I could always go and borrow one, or I could get one from TJ Maxx. So she talking about, no, let me buy it for you. And of course he's like, I'm not used to nobody spending up money on me. It's okay. She was like, well, just think of it as a gift. He was like, yeah, but it's not my birthday or anything. And she's like, please just let me do this for you. He see the look on her face, so he kind of buckled with that. Then she tells him not to mention that was in jail. And he's like, huh? He's like, what? Because we know Rashad is pretty much an open book. He keep it real. We see how he came out and told her crazy fast. So he was like, now I'm not supposed to tell them about that. He was like, I thought you told them, and why does this have to be a secret? That type of thing. And she's like, oh no, I'm just saying, just not right. I'm saying now. We don't have to have this on that on the first meeting type of thing. And I'm getting worried because I just feel like she's trying to change him, and she's trying to make him into something that he is not. And of course, when we meet her family a little later, we see why she was acting the way that she was acting. But that makes me worried. I feel like if you change over time because you're getting open to different things, you're getting toward different things, that's one thing. But when you have a person sitting there, like if they're building you, then that's a whole nother thing. And so that was kind of making me get a little bit worried about Rashad and this girl, even though I like them together and I feel like she has made a big, change in him. She's helped him glow up, and I'm sure that there's way more she could teach him and all of that stuff. I just want him to be able to do it on his own and then still actually be who he is at the same time too. All right. That makes me a little worried that she's doing that. And so nonetheless, we get to Emmett and Tiff in this classroom. The teacher's trying to let them know that EJ is having problems in school. He's having a little difficulty with learning. She's thinking that reading would probably help him more. When she first is saying that EJ is a smart kid and a good kid, they both, yeah, that's my boy, that's my son, or whatever. And then once the teacher mentions that he's having problems, Tiff want to talk about, oh, it's probably because of you and because you be out here with all this different foolishness. And they start to get going back and forth and acting a daggone fool in the school. Okay, the ghetto, right in front of the teacher. She's calling him out like, oh, well, you sleeping with my best friend. He calling her out, well, you moved out and moved in with the wee guy. Like, y'all saying all of this in front of the teacher. Where the hell is your sense at? Grow up. Like, are you freaking joking with me right now? And so he apologizes, and he was saying, I don't even know your name. Oh yeah, you don't know her name because you don't be coming to none of the meetings and you ain't been around. And then she's telling him her name, and she's like, do you be reading to him? Yeah, I read to him. Emmett is saying I read to him at night before he goes to bed. Oh, well, do you do it every night? No, I gotta be honest, I don't do it every night. I be tired from working. So she's saying, well, y'all two gonna have to go ahead and split this. What I'm saying? Y'all gonna have to work together, and it's gonna have to be like when he's with you, he's reading, and when he's with Tiff, he's reading. Tiff had the nerve, like with her whole mouth, y'all, her whole chest, to tell the damn teacher, oh, well, right now we don't get along. She said, I don't care. This is about your son. Your son is what is important. And it's like, are you not embarrassed, Tip, to even open up your damn mouth to tell the teacher that right now you mad at your son's father, so that's why you can't do what you need to do for him? Excuse me? That took me the hell off. I don't give a damn who she walked in and saw him with. You ain't got the sense that God gave a roach to know that that was inappropriate for you to say that in your damn son's school. That was my first headache, y'all. So next we see that Keisha is having a hard time. She's here at the campus and the baby is crying. The people in the next room is blasting music. They probably blasting the music trying to drown the daggone baby out, what I'm saying, from crying or vice versa, whatever. But at this point, Keisha's knocking at the wall, for them to turn the music off. She's looking at the baby with him crying and stuff like that. She's trying to get her work done. So obviously this is a hard time for her. And I'm still confused as why Keisha is so hell-bent on not asking her family for help. They seem like they was willing to help and like they was helping her all the time before. Her mother literally was like, why are you going to go and do all of that? Don't you want to stay here where you can have help? Are you sure you're going to be able to handle all of that? So I don't know if it's a thing with her now where she feels like she already came out here and, said that she could do it. So she don't want to go back and say she can't. But if you need help, say you need help, girl. Okay. Nobody can do it all by themselves all the daggone time. We then see, Maisha and Gemma talking, right? And she's saying she's liking the way that the things is going along. She's liking the flow. She's liking how her songs is coming out. She was like, girl, even though you wreck my brains and give me a headache and get on my nerves, I can't lie. I've been having fun. And, she starts to say the only thing that she is worried about is how is Gemma going to be a mama and be a manager. And Gemma was like, women work, and have babies all the time, so she don't see where it should be a big deal, or like, it's something that's impossible. And it's not, but it is very hard, right? And so Maisha says, yeah, you're right, but it's not easy. And then Maisha says exactly what I was freaking thinking she was gonna daggone say. Gemma asked her what's up with that red envelope, and she's like, oh, that's for me to go visit a campus, but I'm not going. Now since me doing this music thing, I have a different outlet. That was never really my dream. That was my mother's dream. So I'm not gonna do that now. I'm going to just, sit here and be in this now, right? And I think we make a good team and everything is working good or whatever. And she, Gemma's saying thank you for giving me a chance. And she's saying thank you for, taking a chance on me. And she's asking her if she's sure about this. And she's saying, yeah. And I'm like, okay. So, child, we get Rashad. He getting fitted for this suit, honey. She getting him the fresh cut. She is giving him the complete makeover. And he does look very handsome. He looks very nice, you guys. But again, I'm trying to figure out where exactly this relationship is going to go with them two, right? Because he just can't be what he's not. I don't care how much you dress him up. But he was looking sharp, okay? Let me just say. And she even tells him that, her grandmother's going to love him. And then when he was ready to go ahead and smoke, she was like, no, you can't smoke. I don't want you going there smelling like weed. And he like, oh, come on now. He's like, this helps me with my nerves. This is going to keep me calm where I'm going to be able to function and get through the dinner. And she's like, no, you're going to just, do just fine. Excuse me, y'all. She's like, you're going to do just fine or whatever the case may be. And so he says when he get home, she better not say nothing to him, all right? He gonna be able to sit back, relax, and smoke. And she tells him, yes, you will. And that, no, she ain't gonna bother him. She will leave him alone. So I said, okay, we'll see. So we have Kevin and Lene go to this game, and they basically end up meeting Simone there. And he leaves Simone and her together and kind of like, are y'all gonna be okay? And she says, yeah, before he goes to play the game, Simone gives him some kind of crystals telling him that, that's good luck and that's going to help him win the game or whatever. And then, Trig is basically there with an attitude and he's trying to wake up Jake. Jake is like, okay, what do you want me to do? What are you waking me up for? And he's asking where Gemma is, and she's like, she's with Maisha. He's like, doing what? He's like, I don't know. So he's like, well, what do you want me to get up and do? And Trig is basically saying to him, figure out how you going to take care of baby. You need to start, looking for jobs and different things like that. And he's like, well, do you want me to drop out of school? He like, hell no. You going to sit here and be, you're not going to be a damn dropout and not have a damn job. Are you crazy? And so Jake gets an attitude and says, you're just worried about your campaign and how this looks for you. And Trigger says, no, I'm worried about your future. You know what I'm saying? And what you're going to do. He was like, you got to get it together and start having some type of game plan of what you plan on doing with this daggone baby. And I mean, he's not wrong. Neither one of them are wrong, because Jake is right when he says that Trig has been focusing on the campaign and how things is going to look and this image and this and that, right? That's part of why he haven't been living his damn truth as it is now. But however, when Trig is saying you got to figure this out and you can't be laying around sleeping and you know what I mean, you're going to need a job. And yes, I want you to be able to, work and go to school. The reality is, if they was going to keep this daggone baby, that would be part of it. Jake over here talking about how he was going to get 3 damn jobs. How you getting 3 jobs when you ain't got no damn diploma, nothing? Like, what kind of jobs you think you going to get? And why was you going to have time for school or anything else if you sitting here, supposedly working these 3 jobs? So yeah, you got to get up and you got to start making things happen if you want to have a baby so bad. Jake has a point and is telling the truth when he's saying that part as well. And so, we get Keisha going to see her advisor. And she's telling her, you knew this was going to be hard. You knew nothing about this was going to be easy. She's like, right now, you really need a support system. You need somewhere where you could stay and you could have help with watching the baby so that you could go ahead and, get your schoolwork done. And she's like, is there any way that you could go back to your parents' house? And Keisha basically is like, no, she can't. And she's like, well, why? What is the reason that you can't go back? And Keisha says that her room is occupied. I guess she's talking about Lene. And but where was Lene staying all that other time? Because they all still was there together, right? And so the lady basically tells her, like, you ain't got but so many choices. It's either you do that or as you continue to scrub. She don't have no other recommendations outside of that. And so Keisha get up and leave, right? And then you see Kevin and his little game and all into it or whatever. And you seeing that Lene and Simone are starting to bond, right? She's offering her some candy and she's like, oh, it don't taste that bad. And she's even telling Lene, like, well, one part of the reason why he's doing so good is because of me and my crystals and my help, Of course, Lene's like, girl, no. And the other part she's saying comes from you because you're the one that taught him different techniques that he could do in the gaming. So Lene was agreeing with that part. Like, yeah, I did teach him good, didn't I? Right? And was saying that, he would not be as good as he is without her. And so they're having their own little bonding moment. And she basically, we basically then have Trig sit down with his fake girlfriend or whatever, right? And they having a little meeting because I guess he's trying to get her caught up to date with everything that's going on with Jake and Gemma. And she's like, well, she's sure she want to keep it and all of that. And she's like, okay, well, we don't have to worry about that. We could spend that. That's no problem. She was like, you just smile and be the happy uncle. Stuff like this happens all the time. It actually happened to me with my mom when she was pregnant with me. And he's like, oh, wow, you never told me that. And she's like, well, we never had those kind of discussions and you never asked me or whatever. But yeah, my mom had me when she was real young too. And it's not impossible. People do it every day. But Trig was saying that's going to be a little hard for him to just, smile it off. But he says, yeah, he is going to sit down and have a conversation with, Jake about everything that's going on. And so she was saying she wished it was her that was pregnant that was having a baby. She was like, they love that one. It's a political couple and they got a new baby, coming on the way or whatever. And he, after a while, he looking and he's like, are you hitting on me? And he over here blushing and stuff. And she was like, boy, you ain't my type, okay? And then she basically was saying, though, that it is, a nice idea. And so he looked like he was contemplating it for a minute, too. And like I said, he all blushing. So when she get up to leave, she telling him to stop blushing. So I'm like, okay, Trig, I'm watching you. So, Kevin basically does good at his game. At the end of the day, they all celebrating him, dancing around him. They like, yo, he did his thing. So when he finished, Simone is saying, my crystals helped you out. And she's also saying, give Lene her props. And don't just give her props, but give her 2% because she's the one that taught you everything and laid it down so that you could be able to be here to get what you need to get. And that she's basically his coach. So at first, Kevin was giving a little pushback like, coach, what the hell is she talking about? And he like 2%, but then I guess he had to think about it. And he was like, okay, that's fair, So we have Rashad get to the girlfriend house. Honey, obviously these people come for money. This place looked like a daggone mansion. And the daddy come out, he talking about, do you play golf? Rashad is basically like, well, I haven't played golf, but I don't mind learning. That makes the father smile. Oh, you want some scotch? And she keeps saying, well, daddy, can we go eat first? Like, you rushing into all these questions and asking him about this and that, and we can't even go and sit down and eat. And basically Rashad's like, it's okay. And then he asked him, do he want it neat or do he want it with ice? Man, Rashad didn't know what he was talking about, but he was like, okay, give it to me neat. So everything he's saying so far is making the father smile. And the stepmama just go ahead and pulls her away to the table and leave them by themselves. So we get Emmett and Tiff, they are acting like adults for this moment, okay? They're looking over their schedules. They're saying what days he could take him, what days he could work with him extra because these 2 days that is slower to ask Smokies and stuff like that. And he apologizes and says, he's gonna step up and he's gonna put in more effort or whatever where that is concerned, because he said it's been so hard for him lately, and he's been stressed or whatever the case may be with running a business and raising 3 boys. And Tiff gets defensive quick, fast, and in a hurry. Oh, well, I've been busy too, and I'm stressed too, and I'm running a business too. I said, Tiff, please, because you wasn't running nothing but up underneath Rob daggone behind. You just started back from what we could see anyway, what they've been showing us with doing your damn business. Before that, you was partying with Keisha, so I don't feel bad for you in that area, girl, okay? But nonetheless, they seemed like they was getting to a middle ground, and he started telling her, like, he want to be able to leave something behind for his boys. He want to be able to, put into them. He want to have a franchise. He wants something that they could turn around and own. And she's like, wow, you never broke it down to me like that. He says, yeah, that's something I've been thinking a lot more about now. And she's like, I never heard you say that before and things like that. And he was like, well, we never got a chance to. We just never got a chance to get into it. And so you could see that she's looking at him a little different by him saying that or whatever, right? And so they was kind of having a moment, and then here go Keisha walking in with a key. I said, Emmett, who don't got the key to your house, honey? Who don't have the key to your house? Everybody ain't got to have the damn key. So when Keisha get in there, he get up to help her, like kind of put her stuff down or whatever, and she's telling him that she needs to go ahead and have a discussion with him a little later. Here go Tiff. Oh, you can talk in front of me now. And she just basically ignored Tiff and said to him, no, we could wait. It could wait. And he said, you sure? And she said, yeah. So as Tiff is getting ready to leave again, Emmett makes it his business to tell her, look, Tiff, you're going to have to get used to this, all right? And you're going to have to make your way around it, because it is what it is, and we have to make it work. You can't be coming out your face at Keisha, okay? That's the second time he checking her. So she tells him it's a lot to digest, and Emmett says, digest that shit. I said, I know that's right, Emmett, okay? I did respect him saying that, okay? And so she go ahead and leave. So now when, Rashad kind of has to end up checking homegirl family. I knew it was going to come, because the sister was asking him 1,000 damn questions. She wouldn't let him finish answering one before he went to the other. When she asking him what college he went, he's like, I never went to college. Oh, so you an entrepreneur? He says, yeah. You ever heard of The Rock? I work with The Rock. Oh, so you basically, some type of, counselor or whatever they are, or a coach or something. And he's like, yeah, I guess you could say that. And before that, I was working in the kitchen. And of course, Rashad slips up and says the thing about jail. And so they like, oh, you was in jail before? So, he's saying, yeah, I messed up. I was in jail, because he was trying to clean it up, but it was already too late. And then the father was saying how he worked hard for everything he have. And then, his girlfriend was basically like, yeah, you did, but at the same time, grandpa was the one that bust his behind and left a lot of stuff to you to make it easy for you, because the father was trying to say, he never ended up in jail, because Rashad was like, look, at the end of the day, a lot of people end up in jail, and there's some very good people in there that also have went to jail, what I'm saying, if I may say so myself and break it down for y'all. And he was like, I can't stand judgmental people that act like they on this high horse and like, nothing can ever happen to them. Anything can happen to anybody at any time. He's like, I made a mistake, but at the end of the day, if you look at the kind of man that I am now, I've completely changed my life, and I came out and I've been doing good things and all of that. And he was like, obviously this beautiful woman right here was able to see that change in me. And he was like, I got a lot of other good things that I'm good at. And they was like, what? Like what? And he was saying how he's a good cook. And she was like, yeah, he is a good cook. And she was saying how she met him when she was going there to drop off some clothes to donate or whatever. And so he essentially was telling them, like, as long as I got her and she got me or whatever the case may be, I'm going to be all right, and I'm going to work as hard as I can. The sister still was trying to throw shade from the side and be like, oh, no, you think we going to settle for her coming in here with some jailbird or whatever? And he was like, look, I'm more than that. There's a lot more to me. And if you're not willing to get to know me and you don't want to accept that, then, what I'm saying, too bad, so sad, basically. So when he finished saying everything, the father actually, I was shocked with this, y'all. The father said, well done. he had to give him his respect. And so that was a twist I didn't see coming. I'm glad Rashad stood up for himself, and I'm glad at the end of the day, no matter what changes she was trying to make, he still stayed true to him. So I was here for that. Now, Maisha is ready to perform or whatever. She was looking cute. I love me some Maisha. And, Gemma was just trying to give her like some encouraging words before she was going on the stage, telling her she gonna kill it or whatever. And she's like, all right, I'm going out here and I'll be waiting for you. Go ahead and do your thing. And Maisha was just looking at herself, smiling in the mirror. So Papa comes with Dan Bakari, y'all. Why he want to go do that? From the minute Bakari get there, the guy's telling him it's $20. He's telling him he got on the wrong shoes. So Bakari is ready to get into it with security. Papa comes back and pays for him and tells him, go ahead, he paid for you. Not only is he trying to get into it with security, but when the guy behind him was laughing, he mad about that. So then when they get in there, Bakari talking about, I thought this was supposed to be a concert. He's like, it is a concert. He like, well, it ain't no famous person. He like, nah, it's Maisha, but when she becomes famous, then you could be like, you already knew her, you know what I'm saying? And you probably would be trying to get her to sign some stuff. So when he sees Lene, all of a sudden he interested in her and want to meet her. He being all extra like, yo, who's that? And he go up smiling in her face and she just looking like, Lene, okay. And he telling her he Bakari or whatever, and he meets Gemma at the same time. And so we got Trig. Trig want to take his behind over to Miss Reporter house. He feeling all good and knocking at the door with his little, trench coat on. And she come, and I already knew it was something because she come all the way outside, closed both doors, got on this negligee, and he's like, wait, you got somebody in there? Because she told him it's a bad time. So she was like, well, we wasn't exclusive. We never said we was exclusive or whatever the case may be. She was like, maybe we could see each other another time. So now Trig got an attitude. He like, yeah, another time. She was like, maybe tomorrow. He said, nah, I'm not free tomorrow. I'm going to be busy tomorrow. So she's like, oh, okay. And then, he just basically laughing like, in other words, he feel embarrassed, like he made a fool of himself and he coming all the way over here. And I say, yes, you are. You are, Trig. You are a fool. You did embarrass yourself because you had no business jumping all in with her like that in the first place. And my whole thing is Miss Thing was over here talking about she didn't want to be a secret and she didn't want to be on the side. She have to know she important. How important you have to know you are when you already in the bed with somebody else, girlfriend. So, I guess that was a lesson to all. So we get back to Maisha at this point. She getting it in on the stage. Everything is going good. Papa's there recording her. Gemma's out there, rocking for her. They all having a good time. The only one that's standing around with a stank face and keep looking this way and that way every minute is Bakari. So I'm like, what Bakari about to do? What is Bakari about to do? Because he is definitely not paying attention to this damn show and he didn't have to come there in the first place. He could have stayed his behind wherever the hell he was at. Everybody else is basically vibing. And then he ends up saying to Papa, like, I'm going to be right back. You're going to be right back to do what, Bakari? Like, what was the point? So, he go walking off, and the next thing you know, we seeing them fighting over there. He trying to fight the security. He trying to fight the guard. We see a gun drop. He done picked the damn gun up in the daggone air and shooting it, at the same time Aisha still getting it in on the stage and giving high fives to Gemma. And so they all dug down, of course, with hearing shots, and then people start running in some kind of way. In the midst of them running, Gemma freaking falls. At first I wasn't too sure if she had got shot or not, and people was just like literally running over her, whatever. It was like if she was caught in a stampede. And Bakari go running out, ahead of them. He done picked up the gun and ran out with it and tucked it in his pants or whatever. And then Papa, Maisha, and Lene, whatever, is surrounding poor Gemma, and we see an ambulance taking her to the hospital. So I already knew the baby was going to be lost. I figured either she was going to have a miscarriage or maybe she was going to change her mind and decide to get the AB anyway. And of course, it ended up being a miscarriage. What I didn't see coming is Bakari being the cause of it. You know, if anything, I thought Bakari was maybe going to end up getting either Rashad hurt since he was trying to change his life, because you know that's the way it be going, or get Papa hurt. But it didn't happen that way, okay? They made it where, because of what he did, basically just put Gemma and her baby in jeopardy, right? And so then we seeing Keisha and Emmett sitting on the bed talking, and you know, she's telling him all about what they said to her as far as her needing the help, you know, on a regular basis and all of that kind of stuff, and her going back to her mom's house. You know, Emmett was agreeing with everything she was saying and saying, yeah, definitely, until when she got to the part of going back to her mom's house, he was like, nah, that's not gonna work, you're not gonna be able to do that, you know. And then she was like, unless I could come here and stay. And he kind of looked, I don't really know what the look was on his face, but it wasn't like he jumped to be like, yeah, immediately. It was like if he was looking kind of shocked that she asked him that, and then he just basically was like, yeah. And she was like, you sure? He was like, yeah. He was like, we could help each other out. You know, she's telling him she could help him with EJ and whatever schoolwork and studying he need. He's saying he could help her with Ronnie so she could go ahead and get her work together. That's what they've been doing anyway, and they're a good team. And I'm like, I hear y'all, but I don't think she needs to move in there for her to do that. I think that's wrong. I think y'all moving too damn fast and y'all doing too much, just like y'all slept together too fast. As much as I love Emmett and Keisha together, I think that they can do that without them actually having to move in with each other. I think that is a big mistake. That is just my opinion, okay? But nonetheless, they go ahead and say that this is something they think they could do. They're going to help each other. They could build together. But then Keisha starts second guessing it again and basically was like, nah, maybe I shouldn't, because that's going to be too much with Tiff coming over here and she's going to be mad at it. And I still want her to be able to be my friend. And Emmett basically says, you know, you have to live your own life no matter what. You can't sit here and, you know, try not to do things or do things because of what Tiff is going to say or what she's going to feel, right? And then we see Jim and Dad running to the hospital. At this point, you know, you already got Papa, you know, Jake, Maisha and Lena, you know, Lene there. And her father comes in and asks for her, and you know, the doctor comes out and tells him she's stable, and Jake is like, what about the baby? And Papa's like, baby, you know, he didn't even know that she was pregnant. And so basically, Lord have mercy, the doctor says the baby's gone, sorry about that, but she's stable. And so, you know, of course Jake is super sad. She's in the bed crying. Her father goes check on her. Then, you know, she says, I'm sorry to Jake. And that's how you know, even, well, we already knew, but she was really having that baby because Jake wanted to have the baby, right? That's what she really changed her mind for, because she was pretty set on having the AB to begin with. So she feels like she let him down by this happening, and she tells him that she wish she would have just stayed home, or she should have stayed home. And he's giving her a hug and telling her, you know, you don't have nothing to be sorry for. And he had asked them, like, what happened? And they was all at first saying, I don't know, when Papa know damn well what happened. Okay, so I'm giving you the side eye too, Papa. But Maisha's the one that lets him know, like, I had saw from the stage, and it was basically, you know, Bakari that had pulled out the gun and was fighting and all of that kind of stuff. So, you know, he started shoving Papa and was like, oh, so you kept bringing Bakari around. I told you Bakari wasn't shit. And now because of him, you know what I'm saying, my baby is dead. So then Papa just got the dumb look on his daggone face, you know. And I just was like, Lord, I seen this coming, but I didn't see it in that way. And I did feel a little sad for them in that moment, even though I felt like they wasn't ready to have a baby. So then we see Kevin and, you know, Miss Simone walking home. I know some people was like, she's weird. She do got her weird vibes. But I feel like she's a good mix for Kevin. I really do. And he's telling her, like, you know, damn, I had to pay, you know, Lene, I had to pay this, I had to pay the RS. Now it ain't hardly nothing left. And she was like, yeah, that's the way it goes, honey. All right, that was, I guess, your first lesson in that. And, you know, she was saying that he could do this professionally, or he could do it as a job. And he was like, really? I never thought about it in that way. She was like, well, you should. And so, she go ahead and give him a kiss or whatever the case may be and tell him, think on it and told him good night. And so he was just kind of standing there smiling. So right now, Kevin actually for once has good stuff happening for him, okay? And I'm happy for him with that. So, we have Rashad sitting having a drink at the table with Trig, and he's telling him how by the end of the night, his little girlfriend father was ready to marry them off, and Trig is telling him, about the report and how when he went there, she was seeing someone, and Rashad was saying, well, women these days, honey, they be moving on if you don't hurry up, and step up on it and do what you got to do. And of course, Trig is still talking about wanting to be true to himself and come out with the truth and be real or whatever. And so in the midst of them talking, Jake come walking in, and they could tell immediately, like, Jake, what's going on? And he hurry up and he get up and he go to him. He's like, what happened? What happened? He was crying in his arms. And I was like, oh, that part was sweet. He just was holding him crying or whatever. And then at the same time, we see him, Jim, her father, comforting her. He's putting a blanket over her. Excuse me. And she tells him, can you stay with me? And he stays there. And he even had his little crying moment, And we see that when Bakari come walking in that door, Jake went to whipping on that ass, okay? And he was like, you basically got my damn baby killed. He was waiting on him to come. And then they had to go ahead and break them up. And he told him, get the hell up out my house. Get out of my house now, and threw his bag at him. So Rashad was like, you got to go. And he just looked at Rashad kind of funny. But it's like, you got to go. You can't stay here. We already let you stay here knowing that you was a killer. We let you stay here knowing the situation you got into it with him before. And now you're going to turn around, even though you may not have purposely did it, but basically put his damn, girl and friends' lives in jeopardy and made her lose her damn baby. So, yeah, you got to go. He looking at them like they supposed to be the bad guys, but you did that to yourself, Bakari. And then, of course, Jake walks off and punches the wall, and they just looking at each other. And I know that made Rashad feel bad too, because he was the one that wanted to take a chance on him, So we ended it out with Bakari going knocking at Papa door, and he's basically like, can I stay here? And Papa looked like he was just thinking about it for a minute, and then he's like, and I'm like, okay, Papa. Okay, Papa. Okay, Papa. We see you. So y'all put it in the comments, y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about this episode. You know what I'm saying? Put it all in the comments. Let's discuss. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Till next time. Toodaloo.